What's up, everybody? This is my worst films of 2017 list. Initially, y'all are gonna see some films on this list and you're gonna be like, what the fuck? You're gonna see some films that aren't on this list and you're gonna be like, what the fuck? So let me go ahead and just give you the list of films that I chose not to see, just low-hanging fruit as worst films, because if you thought they were gonna be better than they were, that's your fault. Yo bad. Dark Tower, Valerian, Emoji, Suburbicon, 50 Shades Darker, A Mountain Between Us, and no audience. The Mummy, Transformers. Come on, man. Transformers. You thought that was gonna be good? Like, you really thought Transformers was gonna be good? Bad Moms Christmas, The House, Another Medea Goes Boo. They are not on this list. I didn't subject myself to that type of abuse. I love myself. All right, first up on the list is It Comes at Night, which should be titled It Came Already? I'm not sure if it's coming. Did we miss that shit? Nothing ever comes. And despite amazing cinematography that creates the ambiance of just frightening dystopian universe where we really don't know what's going on, the characters just aren't developed or fleshed out enough for you to really care for them. Joel Edgerton cannot carry this film on his back as the strong father trying to carry this family through this existence. And poor Kelvin Harris Jr. makes like a debut on film with simple facial expressions and some of the best vividly done dream sequences of this year for a horror film. And all of that does not make it okay for you to name a film It Comes at Night when you know ain't a damn thing coming. Just ain't right, man. Don't be tricking audiences with titles like this. Deathnote, another one of those Hollywood gotta have it moments. It wasn't even like a cinematic moment. It was a streaming Netflix moment. You got too damn big for your britches and you just wanted to jack a property for the title alone. And I'm not saying that you can comprise 30 some odd episodes into one film. That's ridiculous. Nobody expects that. What we do expect is that you play out some of the macro themes of this. And that just didn't happen. Light had a god complex. Nat Wolff has a not another horny teen with some power complex. Elle, played by Lakeith Stanfield, is one of the only saving graces of this film up until he runs out of Skittles and y'all decided to turn this into Crank. Willem Dafoe, he did his thing. I mean, it's Willem Dafoe. What do you expect? Willem Dafoe, thank God, did Florida Project, so he really doesn't even have to worry about this shit. And everything else about this movie screamed we wanted a sequel, possibly a trilogy, maybe a saga. Shout out to Jacob Lattimore. He's had a rough year. The Will Smith movie didn't do well with critics. I enjoyed it. Detroit was a hot mess, and his fate in that was sealed. And now Sleight. It's just not good. The black community was so behind this film. If you were on social media when the trailers for this were playing any ads that you didn't ask Facebook for, you probably legit was interested in this movie. You looked at this and you were like, holy shit, Chronicle meets Iron Man, which is what the trailer told us. And then you watch the film and it's a black kid in the ghetto doing magic tricks and trying to turn himself into a Terminator. So this kid could have went to engineering school or something. Take that in with my boy from Sleight. These are the most ungangster gangsters I've ever seen in a film. They are the Care Bears of gangsters. And I'm supposed to believe that this kid needs to pull off the biggest trick of his life to get out of this situation. This was a huge letdown. I'm glad I didn't go see it in theaters. I am. XXX Xander Cage, the threequel. Bruh. Dwayne Johnson and Vin Diesel are beefing on the set of Fast. I get it. So they're all doing their own movies. Oh, so The Rock did San Andreas? Well, I'm going to bring back Xander Cage and make $1 billion film. You're absolutely not. The Xander Cage story is the most uninteresting story of any action story hero story ever storied. No, sir. Nobody cared about Xander Cage and his extreme shenanigans as a 007.5 agent. This film makes absolutely no sense. Stunts are ridiculous. Some of the CGI. Bruh, his recruited team, his team includes a DJ. He will legit DJ you to death. No, this is like the most cool, uncool film ever. Yet I think it's still made money. Now we're gonna get Dwayne Johnson's response next year with Rampage. Oh my God, you guys just get along and make $1 billion together? You don't have to like a person for being able to make $1 billion with them. I'm just saying. Put your hands together if you're a Will Ferrell fan. Put your hands together if you thought they needed a sequel to Daddy's Home 2. It's just not funny. And Mel Gibson is really creepy. And John Lithgow didn't deserve this. And don't do Step Brothers 2. And I'm not going to see that Holmes and Watson film. God, this feels like Anchorman 2 all over again. Logan. Oh boy. I just don't like Logan. Like, I know there are a lot of people that really love Logan. They really needed an X-Men Western film. I didn't need to see Tumbleweed's Logan. I really did not need to see Alzheimer's Professor X. The only thing I really did need to see was Logan's crazy ass little daughter. Laura deserved her own film. This is another film where the best supporting actress is actually carrying the film over the lead. Shout out to you, Downsize, and you really didn't need Matt Damon for that. Logan just didn't do a damn thing for me. I didn't cry at the end. I didn't cry in the other part before the cry at the end where you were supposed to cry. I did not care about Logan fighting Logan or X-24, whatever that was supposed to be. This film is another way to please critics and trick them into liking X-Men films, which seems to be sometimes the only superhero films that they will give actual film credit to, despite loving the Marvel films. I love the Marvel films, but you know, they don't deserve an Oscar. To the point where they were like, we need to get this re-released in black and white because it really is that great of a cinematic experience. No, it's not. Alien Covenant. Ridley Scott has like really been in his feelings lately. There was an article released a couple of days ago. He doesn't believe that entities like Disney should give people like Rian Johnson the amount of budget that they gave him for films like The Last Jedi, and I guess he focused on that because it's controversial. That's cool. Aliens Covenant sucks. I get that Ridley wants to tell this story about these god humans. That's fine. I'm interested in watching and learning about it. I'm not interested in watching Michael Fassbender make out with Michael Fassbender. And in a trilogy, I'm pretty sure it'd be Michael Fassbender Minaj. Bender Minaj is not something I want. To stick a xenomorph in this because the studio really wanted you to just do an Aliens film was not going to trick me into thinking that this is an Aliens film. I really wish that he would go do his Prometheus shit and let somebody else into the Xenomorph universe so that we can get the Aliens films that we want. It's really bad when the best addition to the Aliens film isn't even actually part of the franchise. I'm talking about you, Life. You did Aliens well this year. Kudos. Mother. You look at what this director has done in the past and you'll go, oh, I messes with Mother. Or you'll go, nope. I'm pretty much in the, I like some of his work, but when it comes to Mother, nope. A biblical allegory this on the nose was just lazy and unnecessary. There are actors in here who literally play out some of the most popular tales and moral stories from the Bible. Like, you hear these stories every Sunday, and then you get to go to see a film like this where they up the ante. They make God ratchet and petty. They make Mother Earth docile, obedient, and dedicated creature that is constantly being kicked in the stomach and stepped on and beat down. It is annoying to watch, and when it gets to the end, it's just damn savage. And I know it's supposed to be a look at the social condition and humanity and religion and everything else and the way that humans are terrible. We are legit destroyers, killers, and ruiners of everything. I got all of that. That still doesn't make this film okay. This film is a property of the people that it's pointing a finger at, and I think that's funny as hell. I guarantee you none of y'all saw this film, but it did come out this year. It should have a 0% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and it doesn't. Bye bye, man. What the hell? What the hell, man? Terrible acting, terrible cinematography, a terrible villain entity Deathbringer, terrible plot, terrible story. It is just goddamn awful. I just don't, like, of all the things that you could have brought a script for, somebody paid for this. A studio paid for this script. Who was the intern that y'all let read this script and convince y'all into buying this shit and turn it into a movie? And the only reason that films like this are even allowed to continue to be made is because they cost so little to make, and people, because they're horror fanatics, will still go see it despite the title literally being Bye Bye Man. They could have named this shit something in a box and I would have been more interested in seeing this goddamn movie, man. I almost left this one off the list because I want to forget that this film ever happened. But it did. White people really like Casey Affleck, like a lot. Last year they gave him awards. Even with that beard, y'all gave him something to be proud of. So he came back and did a whole film in a damn bed sheet. Somebody took a 4-year-old's concept of what a ghost should look like and made it the whole film. It's not scary. It's not entertaining. It's not even really art house. It just exist. They hired a camera team to sit and film, supposedly, Casey Affleck walking around in a bed sheet, emoting. This is Casey Affleck. I use Casey Affleck and the word emoting in the same sentence. A ghost story is a director challenging an audience to sit through some bullshit and then come out saying they liked it. Ain't no way you can convince me that Casey Affleck was in that sheet during that whole movie, man. It's no way you can convince me of that. If I was Casey Affleck, I wouldn't have been in that sheet, even if my only other option was to be on the set of Justice League and watch my brother play Fat Alec Baldwin Batman. Poor Rooney Mara. She had to eat a whole damn pie for 15 minutes to show what people do when they grieve. That is torture. This is another film that wanted me to sit and watch an actress be tortured to get something out of it. Detroit. I could go on and on about how much I hate this film. I hate that it doesn't care about black people. I hate that it cares more about the cops who butcher black people. I hate that it cared more about being a black torture porn film than actually talking about the city of Detroit during this time period, so I could actually learn something, since this was about my people. But since it wasn't done by my people, since it was done by somebody who likes to tell stories in her own fashion, with a writer who likes to write them in his own fashion, you know, critics are gonna fall for it, but my black ass isn't. This film is just an atrocity, and it's hard to watch. It is a punishing film to watch and then walk out of the theater and not punch somebody in the face after viewing. We have enough of this going on in the real world. I didn't need to sit to 2+ hours of it. There are literally points in this film where they have black families crying over the deaths of these black kids who were tortured, and we don't know which parents belong to which kids because they just didn't feel the need to take the time to even name all of the black people who died in this movie. Yeah, man, so what were your worst films of 2017? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and check out our podcast at the top. Peace.